Yo, what's up, Wes?
Low key, my boy. What's good, my G? How you been?
Hey, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. Hey, real quick before we continue, let me get a fist bump. You know?
Yeah, bam.
Hell yeah, my G. So what's good, my boy?
Hey, bro. How's your day, man?
Good, bro. Just chilling. Typical Saturday, kicking it, smoking. Had a session, recorded some shit that needed to get done.
Oh, you did some music today?
Yeah, man. Actually did a couple tracks. The homie came over and we did some shit and did an unexpected track. That was pretty cool. So, yeah, man, we just got in there and did our thing real quick. He bounced out, had a little breakfast, and pretty much just kicked it, my boy, and just chilled.
Yeah, I love those kind of days, man.
Yup. You know what it is. Be protective. That's all count.
It's your Saturday, but it's my Sunday.
That's right. That's right. You one whole day ahead, and you're what, 6 hours? 6 or 5 hours?
Something crazy, bro.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, because I know when I call you at like 7 o'clock at night, it's actually early in the morning over there, like 1, 2 o'clock.
Yeah, for sure.
That's crazy. The time zones, man. Time difference, anyway.
Yeah, you're in the future.
Hey, man, I just thought I'd just call you up and just ask you a couple questions, bro. If you want.
Yeah, for sure.
Just so that people can get to know you a little bit more.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they hear your music, they hear your songs, and be on your Spotify and whatnot, man. But if we could just give the people a little bit about the West, I think this will be cool.
Let's do this.
Question 1. So I got my questions here, man. So, where did you get the name The West from? How did you come up with it? And what's the story behind it?
All right, so I'm going to go through this through sections. The way I got the name The West, that's the last name I've actually have gotten. And I got it probably, I think it was in 2009, 10. I know the year because where I got it and how I got it. I was in Texas, and I was living in Texas with my cousin. I had just moved over there, and when I was living there, there was like a bad storm happening. We were in the backyard, and I was actually talking to the homie Monster, and he was like telling me, yo, when you come back out here, my boy, like, we got to get you in this music and this and that. And I'm just like, yeah, for sure. Because I was always doing music. Back in the day, I went by Chaotic Theory. You know what I mean? I was heavy in the underground stage. You know, and then I used to tag, so I would shorten Chaotic Theory to Chaos. You know, Kaos.
Chaos.
And then, Chaos. And then as I got older, you know what I mean? I got really into like the, West Coast music. Because my underground hip hop was in the junior high days. You get what I'm saying? So I went through the whole junior high fucking, rebel phase and, listening to all the different, fuck the government type music. And, I went through all that. So when I was going through that, that was my get down, the underground shit, Chaotic Theory. And then when I was getting older, I went by Rob D after that for a little bit. That's what everyone knew me as. Yeah, Rob D. And then, I did that one for the longest. That was one of the longest ones I had growing up. I just started going by Rob D. And then I went by Rob D the Loke, right? And then and I did Loke for Leaving Others Crushed. That's what it stood for, the Loke. So I would write the Loke or Rob D the Loke. And that was the last name I had was Rob D the Loke. And I was just kind of like rocking with that one for a minute. And when I was in Texas, I was there, and back to what I was saying, there was a bad storm, and I was outside talking. I was kind of a little faded and shit. And in Texas, man, they got tornadoes and shit. You know what I mean? So when you start hearing sirens and shit, and you're going up, that means go in your house, go to the attic. You know what I mean? And that shit started going off. I'm from Cali, bro, so when I heard that, I was like, what the fuck is going on, bro? You know what I mean? Sound like some DJ Khaled shit was going on. I was like, what the fuck? So I was like, and my cousin, she's like, get inside the house. So I go inside the house and I'm talking to this dude, and he's just telling me like, yeah, man, when you come out here, bro, we got to get you, you know, doing the music thing again, man. And he's yeah, you got it. You know, he was just hyping me up because I was already telling him that I was planning on coming back to Cali. You know, I was just in Texas for the meantime to kind of get my life right. I was fucking up out in Cali, not really doing what I was supposed to be doing. You know, just not in the right path. So I went to Texas, and the homie knew I was coming back, and he was like, hey, well, when you get back, he's hit me up, and we're gonna get this music shit going.
Chill.
So I'm like, all right. And he's like, but I need you to do me a favor. And I'm like, what's up? He's like, I need you to think of another name. And I'm like, another name? He's like, yeah, think of something dope, you know, something that will, you know, something that's you. He's like, Rob D's cool, but, you know, I don't think that's like, that sounds more of like a homie name, you know, like someone who knows you type shit. Like, they think of something that stands out. And I was like, all right. And he's like, I actually been thinking about one. He's like, but I don't know if you would fuck with it or not. And I was just like, really? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, well, what was it? Well, what is it? And if the homie Monsters out there ever sees this shit, he comment on the YouTube, wherever this goes up, comment and say, yeah, so you remember this shit. And I'm gonna tag you in this shit, so when you see it, you can comment, people know it's the truth. But the homie Monster was like, you should go by the West. And I was like, West? And he's like, yeah, you should go by the West. Nah, that's what I think. I think you should go by the West. And I was like, and at first when I heard it, I didn't really like it, bro, because it just seemed too plain, dog. You know what I mean? It just seemed too plain. So I was like, the West. I'm like, And I was like, can I ask why? And he's like, bro, everything you represent, it's the West. He's like, you sound like the West. Your flow comes from the West. Like,
yeah.
It's like everything you stand and represent and talk about, like, he's like, everything about you. You just like, you're the West. That's you. That's who you are. Yeah. He's like, you don't bang. You don't like rep a hood like that. So like, you don't have to like, you know, push that certain thing. Like you are the West and you represent for the whole West Coast. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, all right, I can kind of fuck with that. You know what I mean? So I remember we hung up. He was like, all right, yeah, hit me up when you get back, dog. You know, we'll talk about this shit. So right then and there, I went to Facebook. I mean, not Facebook. It was actually MySpace at the time.
MySpace.
Yeah, MySpace days. And I went to the Loke part and took out the Loke. And then I was like, am I really going to do this? And I'm like, all right, fuck it. Loud. Put the West. So I changed it that day, made it official. Rob D the West. MySpace, and I just started going by that. No one really even asked me or questioned me neither. Nobody was like, yo, when the fuck did you start doing this shit? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was kind of just like one day I just said, hey, fuck it. You know, my name's gonna be Rob D the West, and no one said anything about it, and I just started going by that. And yeah, my boy, I was going by Rob D the West, and I released a couple things like that. And actually the homie Chops that I fuck with, that fool he was listening to my shit in those days when I was going by Rob D the West. So he fucks with me around, fucks around with me a couple of times, like calling me hey, Rob D the West, you know what I mean? Because that he remembers those days. I was fucking with some producer in France, and he would release my shit like that. So, and then one day I did a song on one of his beats, and he released it on his YouTube channel. And a dope song, bro. I remember I was at the Dodger game. How West Coast is this shit, bro? I'm at the Dodger game, chilling with my cousin, and I get my motherfucking first song sent back to me, like by this dude Steady, and he sent it back to me, and the song was called The West. He named it The West. And when he titled it, he actually titled it The West too. So it was like The West by the West, you know what I mean? And I was like, the fuck, you know what I mean? So like, for some reason that like caught my eye. And I was like, I'm gonna just go by the West from now on. So that song that he gave me, I got back and I was listening to over and over at the game, at the Dodger game. And I went back home, I showed my homie, and that fool started listening because it was like the first real song I've ever put out. And don't get me wrong, I put out other songs before, but they were always over other instrumentals that I would get, like, you know, Tupac, Dr. Dre, all the West Coast instrumentals that you could get back in the day. You know what I mean? So I would get all those beats and rap on them. But this was like my first actual fucking song on an original beat that was mine and everything. So when I got it, you know, I saw it. The title was The West, and I said, fuck it. That's it. It went up on YouTube. It's still on YouTube today. And that was like the first song, The West. And ever since then, bro, I went by The West. It's been The West since then.
And that song's still up?
That song is still up. You can go on YouTube. I believe if you just go to YouTube, type in Steady Beatz with 3 Z's, no S, Steady Beatz, Beatzz, and The West. That's probably going to be one of the first songs to pop up, the black and white with my face looking like this. But yeah, it's going to be that, and then all the songs I did with that fool. And it's crazy because a lot of those songs I have them. I could have put them on my YouTube, but I didn't because he got so many views on them from his page because he had so many subscribers and shit. You know, he used to make dope ass West Coast beats on the MPC and just a little keyboard and shit, and he would get so many views, so I just let him fucking ride, you know, with my shit. So he was actually the first person to like get my music and sounding good. And man, you know, the ways I used to have to send him my stems, bro. Oh, so bad. So I would have to take pictures of my fucking project and send it to him, so he knew where they went, because I didn't know how to bounce out shit. Like, it was bad, bro. And then he would have to listen to it and then move my shit where it needed to be, you know?
And try and line everything up.
Yeah, but he would line it up off pictures. Like, I literally would take pictures off my phone or the screen and then send it to him. So he would know by looking at it and be like, okay, it's somewhere in this area. And then he'll find the rest.
Oh, bro, that's insane.
It's because I didn't know how to bounce out shit. I didn't know how to do anything like that at that time. So the homie, you know, thank God, you know, rest in peace. Rest in peace to that fucking old school way of doing that shit. You know what I mean? But
yeah, that's old school.
Shout out to the homie Steady, dog. That fool fucking made my shit sound dope and got it sounding right. And yeah, man, that fool put it up on that shit, and that was the first fucking song that's still up there to this day. And all my songs with Steady are on that shit, and they're all like those were like my first heavy West Coast, because his sound sounded like on some old school Dr. Dre, like, you know what I mean, like all that, like, you know, chronic shit, you know what I mean. But like with the pianos, you know, he used a lot of the West Coast pianos. So yeah, man, the West, bro, that's how I got the name The West.
You got the name The West.
That is the story behind it, man. That's mainly the whole thing right there. Jeez.
Yeah, salute West.
I think about it for sure.
Yeah, thank you for that. Salute West. Moving right along, question 2. How did music start for you? Do you remember when you started making music, or even your first song? You know,
this one's crazy because I've have different stages in my life where I feel like I started doing music. You know what I mean? When I was young, I mean, I remember as young as far as back as junior high. I said this on the homies podcast. I had a homie who had these little voice recorders, you know, little tape ones, the FBI little tape recorder looking motherfuckers. And he was this crazy ass white boy, like I said on the podcast, man. He was one of them kids that were bad, ADHD, swing at the teachers type deal, you know, always getting kicked out of class, you know, being dumb. But his parents spoiled him, and he always had everything. He had like the dopest stuff, all the gadgets, everything, whatever you think of, he had it. Pocket knives, all that. And one day I was at his house, he had these little tape recorders. He had like 3 of them. And I was like, damn, bro, you got are those tape recorders? He's like, yeah. And he's like showing me little shit that he records, like just random stuff. And I'm like, damn, bro, I'm like, that's dope. And he's like, you want one? And I was like, yeah. For real? He's like, yeah, you want one? I was just like, oh, like,
yes, please.
Yeah, you know, he was just like, here, just take it. And he gave it to me.
Yo.
I was like, oh, fool. I thought that was the dopest shit ever, bro. There was this thing called the yak back in the day. I don't know if you ever heard of that. And out here in the States, we had it called the yak back. And it was a little recording device.
Yak
and then
back?
the Home Alone. Yeah, it's called the yak back. You would record shit and then it would yak back to you.
That kind of sounds like, I don't know if it's called yak back, but I remember the movie Home Alone.
Yeah.
You remember that thing that he recorded on? I remember my little brother got one of those for Christmas.
Yeah, I got one too.
You know, and I remember using it. So is the yak back similar to that?
No, a yak back was like a little smaller one. It was like a little small circle oval shape fit in your palm of your hand. And you could kind of like change voices, make it deep or high. It was just a stupid recording device, fool, but like, man, they were hot, bro. Yak back. If any of y'all motherfuckers remember the yak back, you was a G if you had one. But it was called the yak back. I used to talk shit and play it back to people like, fuck you. Yeah. No, but the yak back, bro. But yeah, I had the Home Alone one too. Low-key, shout out to my parents. They got me the Home Alone one. You would record on it, you know what I mean? You know, the shit was tight. But yeah, I had those. But anyways, my homie, he had one. He gave me one of those little recording things, and man, I just thought it was the shit, bro. I used to that was my getaway time, you know what I mean? I'd rap in that shit. When nobody was around, I would just, you know, bust flows, you know, and just say crazy shit, bro. Like, you know what I mean? It's funny that I just said this to the homie today, but my little nephew called me. I mean, not called me. His mom sent me a DM. And I rap, and he's known that I rap since, you know, he was a little baby. So every time he sees me, he's always like, hey, what's up? You know, and he wants to like rap. And the video, I press play, and he's over there like, little kid, bro, like third grader, you know what I mean? Just, hey, yo, what's up, man? I'm rapping through the city going with my homie, you know, and I'm like, what the heck? You know, and he's like, I can tell, like, if he keeps going, bro, he might be dope when he gets older if he keeps spitting, but it's just funny to see the little kid. That was me, but he's outgoing. I wasn't. I was real quiet about it. You know, I didn't really fucking, you know, go out there. So that's why the little handy recorder was perfect for me, because I would just spit that shit by myself. You know, I could be anywhere by myself and just spit in it. I didn't have to be too loud, you know what I mean? And, yeah, bro, I would just spit in that shit. Well, one day, I come home from doing whatever the heck I'm doing, and when I get home, I see my mom and dad are posted up on the couch, and my dad's looking at me with this look like I'm in trouble. I'm like, oh shit, what the fuck did I do? You know what I mean? And I'm thinking in my head, I didn't do anything. You know what I mean? I was like, for sure of it. As soon as I walk in, my dad looks at me. He said, "Have a seat." I sit down. He looks at me and he's like, "You want to explain what this is?" Boom! He drops the recorder. He found it. He drops it. He puts it right down in front of me, and I just look at him. And the first thing I thought was like, "Oh, he thinks I stole it." You know? Right. I totally forgot I was rapping in it. You know what I mean? I just like, "Oh, he thinks I stole it." Like, perfect. I'm not gonna get in trouble. And I was like, "I didn't steal it." That was the first thing I said. I was like, "I didn't steal it." And he's like, "Well, I'm not saying you stole it." He's like, "But where'd you get it from?" And I was just like, "Well, my homie gave." He's like, "He just gave it to you." And I'm like, "Yeah, man, he gave it to me." It just sounded like baloney, but it was truth, man. It was the truth. But yeah, I was like, "Yeah, he just gave it to me." And he's like, "Well, we'll get back to that." He's like, "But explain this." And he pressed play. You talk about making yourself feel this small, bro. You know, I was just sitting there listening to all my raps, talking shit. I just zoned out, bro. I didn't even remember like exactly what I was saying. I do remember saying some derogatory shit, like, right, you know, telling chicks to.
How old were you, bro?
You know,
when this happened,
bro? Man, 6th grade. Spitting a bunch of dumb shit, bro, that I shouldn't have been saying. Yeah. I mean, he shouldn't have been snooping around on my shit like that, but I guess, you know, he's my parent, my dad, you know, he has the right to do whatever he wants. So, and I shouldn't have been saying what I was saying. I was just saying some fucked up shit, you know. I won't even say it back. But, he heard it and I heard it. My mom heard it, and yeah, I think my dad was just looking for a reason to try to take the recording device away from me because he wanted it. But he was like, "Yep, this is mine. You're grounded and blah blah blah. Go to your room and do your homework." And I'm like, "Fuck." And then like 3 weeks later, I went in his drawer and took it back. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's how I started getting into the rapping recording. Like, you know what I mean? When you talk about first time I've ever like rapping recording, then they got into a kind of a fetish, you know, to record and like starting to rap shit. You know what I mean? Like, it was, I don't know how I really like got into it. Just one day I knew I could do it. And I started writing. I started writing the lyrics to "I Ain't Mad at You" and "Changes." And
when you had those instrumentals.
Yeah, you know the tape that had like the 2 hits on it, then the 2 instrumentals, and then the 2 acapellas. You know what I mean? This one had "Changes" and "I Ain't Mad at You." I had the it had the songs "I Ain't Mad at You" and "Changes" on it, and I would listen to those songs and I would listen to the lyrics and I would write all the lyrics down to the song. And then I would rehearse the song, rapping the song. So that's how I started getting into learning my rhythm. You know what I mean? I was learning how to spit with them on their own music. So I didn't realize what I was doing, but that's what I was doing. Well, when I think about it now, I was learning the rhythm of these other artists. You know what I mean? Because I did the same thing with Biggie, with the Hypnotize song and Going Back to Cali. And so I used to listen to those songs over and over, and I would just learn them and like kind of just spit them and all that shit. Well, I remember that's how I started doing that, and then I had the Dear Mama tape, and I used to rap over that on the karaoke machine. Then that's when I went from the tape recorder to a karaoke machine. Where remember you were talking about the tape recorder on 2 tape decks.
Yeah.
You press play on one and record and play on the other.
Yeah.
I was doing that, and I would have to do that on the low before anyone would get home because that's just loud, you know. So I'd have like 45 minutes to get in the living room and do a little performance, you know, pretend I'm in front of thousands of people and just jumping all over the place, spitting, you know what I mean? And I'm recording over Dear Mama. How hype can you get on that beat, you know what I mean? But I was doing it, you know, with Tupac's lyrics in the background because it wasn't an instrumental, but it was the only beat that I had. So, yeah, bro, that's it went from that to finally just recording at a homie. I mean, me and my homie we learned how to record on with the earpiece of a headphone to like then a little microphone jack one that you just plug into your computer. Not even USB, it was like a plug-in, you know. And yeah, man, we would just fuck around and just record like that, bro. And eventually one day you gotta go into a studio, you know what I mean? But when I was younger, bro, I couldn't record in front of people. They would have to press record and walk out, you know what I mean? Because I didn't have the stomach to be able to do it. But yeah, man, finally just get over it, you know, being in the studio so much, and now it's just cake work, bro. You know what I mean? Just get in there and get out, do the whole thing. But yeah, man, that's pretty much, if I remember the question correctly, that's, you know, how the rapping started and all that, you know, getting into the recording and all that.
Hey, and what you were talking about before about the earpiece into the aux or the mic part,
yeah,
the input. Man,
yeah.
I remember those days too, eh?
Bro.
Rapping on the earpiece. And
hey, you know what's funny?
Only one could work. Go ahead. And I think only one could work at one time.
Yeah.
I think they both could work. So you only had
and you know which one it was? It was the one that had the cable on the side. So,
right.
Like that one, it would be your right ear.
On the earmuff.
On mine, it would be this one.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I remember
because this one is just connected through other wires. It's like connected to the other side. So you would just need to have the main one. If you try to use this one, it wouldn't work because it's not connected to the main wire.
Right.
You know, this one runs off this one. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
But yeah, I remember the homie told me one time. He's like, "Hey, you know, you can use like a headphone if you have an earmuff." And I remember we went to like a 99-cent store and I got like an earmuff one. broke it, and like after I found the piece, you know, and we would grab it and we would literally sit at my mom and dad's desk in the room and a computer and just like, you know, start rapping and shit. And we recorded a bunch of different shit like that, fucking around, you know. But yeah, man, that was the good old days, you know. Then my homie Evan, back in the day, that fool, he was a white dude, Jewish, and he was a down-ass fool, tagged and everything. He was in the underground. He was my homie. He was the one dude that I fucked with the whole time in school, as far as music-wise and graffiti. And he had a MacBook, so like when they first came out, you know what I mean? So this fool was able to fucking get his little recording setup. Well, actually, he didn't have a MacBook yet. We were still using his desktop, and we were recording on Audacity. You remember that?
Yeah, man.
We were recording on Audacity and an Acid Pro. Remember Acid Pro?
Acid Pro. Yeah, man. That's OG.
We were recording on those programs, and they were very simple. You know, you just drop your beat in and then connect your mic and rap. You know, and that's what we were doing. Shout out to my boy Evan, man. AV. That was our name of our crew. Audio Visual. Before audio visual, it was DOH, Disciples of Hop. We went by DOH, Disciples of Hop. Then it was AV, Audio Visual, and then we ended off at MSCA, Mid-State Californians. And it was just me, my homie Evan, the homie Sean, and after that, bro, it was from there. It was just me, you know. We got to the studios and just started recording and shit. But yeah, we used to do the headphone thing all day.
Shit.
You know?
I brought back memories, man.
Oh, bro. You don't even know, dog. I could go on forever. I'm just trying not to go off topic, but yeah, dog. Stories.
Yeah, man. I remember, because on the play button, right, there was no button. It was like the steel part, the little metal part at the bottom. So I used to do things like when it comes to the end of the beat after I've recorded, I'd push the button like halfway, so it's playing slower, and it sounded like chopped and screwed. You know what I mean? See, we go way back when it comes to this recording on the tape shit, man.
Yeah.
Man, they were the good days, bro.
Yeah.
And especially if you could record your main vocals onto one cassette, put that cassette in the first or the main, or we call it tape A. Play it. You could put another blank in, and then dub it or add your ad-libs, whatever. But I used to just do my raps twice.
Oh wow, I never did it like that. I mean, I remember, you know, the tape deck and recording like on a karaoke with two stereos and fucking around like that, but damn, doing the dubs and all that's crazy.
Good old days.
You remember when you would hear it getting all high pitched, you're like, no, run, go over there, get the tape before it gets fucked up. Pull it out and
oh yeah, man.
And what did you do to get it? You either used your pinky or a pencil.
Or a pencil. Get the pencil in there, just roll it up, man.
Yeah, roll that shit up real quick. Yeah, I remember all that shit. That shit was cool.
Man, that's pretty much my
and if you wanted to record over a tape that wouldn't allow you, just had to put like a piece of paper towel or a piece of tape, or what was it? You would put like something in the hole and it would allow you to record.
You could put some sticky tape over those holes.
Yeah.
Same with the VCRs with the videotape.
Yeah,
we do the same thing.
I remember we used to have all kinds of tapes with toilet paper and tape right there.
Yeah, man. Just chew up some bit of paper, squeeze it in there.
Yeah.
Man, they're the good old days, man.
That isn't Blood In, Blood Out, fool. That's something else. That's Lion King. We're like, why is some Blood In, Blood Out on a tape?
Man, that was cool, man. Thank you for sharing that with us, man. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm. Let's go.
If there was an artist that you could work with, who would it be and why?
Past
Pressure's on. Hey, it can be any.
Well, let's just say past, or do a past and a present.
All right.
Past, man, that one's hard because I'm looking at them right now. They're all in front of me on the wall and shit. But I never thought about it. I never thought about it like this because now I'm thinking about just a past one, and it's between two people. But I just think one would just be super dope to be with, and it would be Big Pun. Big Pun's one of my top three.
Big Pun?
Yeah, but Big Pun because he's Latino, I'm Mexican. We're both big dudes. You know, like I come from the West Coast, he's from the East Coast. Like that would just be a dope collab. I feel like I could bring, you know, my stilo to it, and he bring his stilo, and we both have that, you know, that out, you know, standing. Like, you know, when we rap, people listen, or you know, it's dope. You know, so I think that would be dope. The other person I was thinking was Nipsey, just because growing up when I was in high school, towards the end of high school, senior year, I remember Nipsey had just was coming out with Hustle in the House and all that. Bullets Ain't Got No Name Volume 1, and I think that had just dropped or something around 2006, 2007. And man, all the way up until when he passed, that's all we bumped was Nipsey Hussle. Nipsey just started taking over from there as far as the street game goes. He came out with Bullets Ain't Got No Name Volume 1, Drop 2, Drop 3, you know, just started coming out with all the marathons, and, you know, he was dropping those in between the years, and as I was getting older, man, I was just experiencing all these fucking mixtapes and shit by Nipsey, and shout out to the homie Weddle. He was the reason why we knew who Nipsey was. He knew somebody that fucked with the label company he was with, and that fool did his tattoos. My homie Weddle did his tattoos, a couple of his tattoos, and that's how he ran into his music. And then one day he's like, yo, you gotta check this fool out. This fool's fucking hard. And yeah, man, just started listening to this fool Nipsey, and then I was like, damn, this fool's dope, you know? And I was just a fan ever since then, you know? So I used to rap on Nipsey beats, you know what I mean? When he died, I sent like 3 of my raps to the Marathon store. You know, they're still in the DMs, I think, but I sent them, you know, like, rest in peace, Nipsey, you know what I mean? I was real big on Nip, man. Nip was dope as fuck, bro. He was dope as fuck. When he went, it was unbelievable. Like, I couldn't believe it, you know? When he went, man, yeah, that was real tough on the music for everybody, you know, especially Cali. I mean, you see him, I don't know if you've seen the videos, but when he passed, they did his farewell all over LA, bro. People all over the streets, you know. So yeah, that was real big, you know. So, you know, that's why I picked those two people, you know, Big Pun, because I just think our styles would make a dope track, you know. Big Pun, the West, and you know, just our big guy personas. You know, I'm heavy on the West Coast, he's heavy on the East Coast, and I just think that those styles would be unique. And then Nipsey, just because he was one of my, you know, favorite MCs, top 5 at least, and he's gone. So as far as past artists, man, and there's only one present artist that I would like, Gold Dream. All right. Know, someone I really want.
Drum
you know
roll.
what I mean? Drum roll, and that's my motherfucking boy, Yay, Ice Cube, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ice Cube is the one dude, man. I hear he's a jerk to a lot of the upcoming new West Coast artists and shit like that, you know what I mean? Because, you know, he's the king of the West. But you know what's crazy about the name The West, too, is when I finally changed my name and said, okay, I'm going to be The West, you know, from now on, I was chilling, and like 6 months later, I'm on one of the Facebooks or something, and I get an alert, and it's Ice Cube, and it said that he was dropping a new album, and it was called I Am the West. And I was like, what? Oh. I was like, no, that ain't the first time Ice Cube has done something like shit like that to me, dog, because I'm not saying to me personally, but you know, it felt like it, because I was like, damn, what the fuck? I just called myself that, and he just drops an album called I Am the West. And that's the one that had the song I Rep That West. I Rep That West. You know, that's that's the album. So yeah, I was like, fuck, man, like that fool fucking named his album that. And then the other time was when we did that song Raider Colors.
Right,
the one that you did, the color remake.
Yeah.
We named it Raider Colors, and the day before we were gonna drop it, that fool released a song with Too Short called Raider Colors. I was like, what the? I was like, that's twice that fool Ice Cube did me like that. But fuck it, whatever. But yeah, man, present, that's gonna be the guy, man, Ice Cube. There's many people I would love to rap with, but just because Ice Cube is the reason why I do what the fuck I do. You know, I remember growing up with my pops, you know, rest in peace to my pops, man, but he was real big on Ice Cube, the old Ice Cube, like, you know, I don't remember really my dad listening to the NWA shit because I was a baby. You know, I was born in 87. But as far as like listening to Today Was a Good Day or You Know How We Do It, yeah, man, I remember my dad listening to that shit and driving around. I remember those memories, and then when West Side Connection came out, I was older, you know, in elementary still, but I remember going to the LA Super Shows in LA and being with my dad and watching Ice Cube perform. And if you're an Ice Cube fan, he has a song called Fuck You Ice Cube, and that's the hook, Fuck You Ice Cube. And I remember I was looking at my dad like, and he was just like, gave me that look like, go ahead, you know what I mean? Like, gave me the okay, and I was like, fuck you, Ice Cube. You know, I was losing my shit, dog, you know, like, I was like, hell yeah, dog. Yeah. You know, so that was like my first time, and I was at a concert in LA, and Ice Cube, and then after he did that song, he does, like, I think he did Friday. He did a couple songs like Throw Your Neighborhood in the Air If You Don't Care. Oh yeah, you know, he did that one. He did a couple other ones, and then he's all, wait a minute. He's all, I think y'all motherfuckers want to hear some of that real gangster shit, some of that new shit, and everyone lost their mind because they just knew it was, he just came out with West Side Connection, you know, the album, or it was just coming out, and Bow Down was one of the hits. And he's all, but something don't feel right. Something don't feel right. And I was like looking at my dad like, no way. They're going to fucking bring out like the whole crew. You know what I mean? And he's like, wow. Yeah. And Dub C was always his hype man. If you remember, if you watch his shit, Dub C's always his hype man. So he tells Dub C like, yeah, something just don't feel right. I feel like we need someone. Like, we can't do it unless, you know, we have someone else. And he's like, oh, who you talking about, Cube? And he's like, I feel like we missing somebody. And then you heard fucking Mac 10 say something, and everyone like, what? Oh, and after Mac 10 came out, and then you heard, and then, down, you know, and then fucking, bro. If my dad was here, bro, and he was next to me, he could tell you, bro. And my brother could tell you, because my brother was there too. And so was the homie Weddle, but they were way down in the pits with all the fucking bald heads, you know. But yeah, I remember seeing that, and being, as a kid, I could think back to it now and just remember the crowd and Ice Cube and them doing Bow Down. It was a fresh hit, hottest song on the radio. Everyone was saying the lyrics, like, that was tight, bro. I mean, to be able to say I seen that in LA at the Coliseum, you know, that was sick, bro. And ever since that day, like, I just remember I was like, that's me. I would love to do that, you know. I didn't have the balls to do it, but I was like, you know, like, damn, you know, I want to do that. And Ice Cube, just ever since that day, has been my motherfucking favorite artist, bro. Just growing up, listening to my dad bump him. And then that was the first guy I could say I really saw like a rap hip hop show, but it was like so many people there in the middle of the LA Coliseum, and he kills that shit. Then the movie Friday comes out, Boys in the Hood comes out, Ice Cube's an Anaconda. I mean, Ice Cube was everything, bro. Like, you know? Yeah. My dad was an Ice Cube fan. I was an Ice Cube fan. Like, Ice Cube was my sister had a crush on Ice Cube. Like, Ice Cube was everything, bro. Like, West Coast, you know what I mean? Like, and he was the fucking West Coast warlord, you know? So,
How old
Yeah,
were you
man.
when you went to go watch the show?
Bro, it was in, I want to say 95, 96. So I'm thinking maybe 9, 10 years old.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying. I was young when I was fuck you Ice Cube. I looked at my dad and he was just like, go ahead. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I was young as hell. My mom could tell you because we would come back with pictures from those LA Super shows. And back then, the models would take pictures with the kids, you know, and they were wearing bikinis. And back then, you could take pictures with the models holding nalgas, which means butt. And they'd put their legs on you, and you were just a little kid. But back in the day, that was okay. You know, it was cute. You know, you do that shit now, they're gonna be on the news and getting all kinds of lawsuits on them and shit. But yeah, I remember we came back with pictures. My mom seen them things. She ripped them all up, threw them all away. She said, "Hell no, this shit in here." But yeah, man, I was young, bro. 9, 10 years old, fucking seeing this shit live, you know.
Fuck, that's cool, man.
And I was with my pops, so I got to be next to my dad, experiencing that.
That's right.
So,
creating memories, man.
Yeah.
So it's Big Pun, Nipsey Hussle, and Ice Cube. That's a solid selection right there.
Hell yeah. You can't go wrong with that.
I got my last question for you before we wrap this up.
Yeah. Real quick. Because I know some people might be wondering, my top 5. I'll give you my top 5 artists.
All right.
Ice Cube is number 1. Biggie is number 2. Big Pun is number 3. Nipsey is number 4. And my 5th one is gonna knock everyone's motherfucking brains crazy. Is Zero. Zero. He barely became one like when I was in Texas. When I moved to Texas and I was out there, it was funny because I would always get told Zero all the time. Everyone, you know who Zero? You listen to Zero? No. I listen to Nipsey. I listen to J-Rock. The whole time I was there, bro, that's all I bumped. Nipsey and J-Rock. Nipsey, J-Rock. Nipsey, J-Rock, bro. Like, I was just bumping all the J-Rock shit, all the Nipsey shit. My family knew it. People would try to get me on the Zero, and I'd be like, man, get that shit out of here, bro. And I was messing with this chick, and she listened to Zero. She had a couple songs by Zero, and he had this song, all these hoes still getting no love. All you get is a fuck you. You know, so that was like a slow song he would do. Kiss my, you know, so Zero, man, he was sick, bro. And I would always hear that song. One day when I came back, when I finally moved back, I told that chick, I was like, hey, what's that song you used to always play? She's like, oh, it's No Love by Trey the Truth and Zero. And I'm like, oh, that's Zero? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, damn. And I looked them up. And man, was I missing out, bro, when I was in Texas. I would have been rolling around in Texas, bumping Zero like crazy. That fool is so dope, bro. He's like the Texas Tupac, bro. That fool was out in 96, 95, but putting out albums like that fool. He is the Tupac of Texas, bro. Like, I heard somebody saying that shit the other day, and people were trying to talk shit because, you know, he didn't influence the world. But man, Zero was out there putting hits the same time Tupac was. And in Texas, he's got hits. Maybe not to us in Cali and all these other spots where people will remember him. You know what I mean? Like Tupac's hits, but in Texas, they hits, you know? So shout out to Zero, man. He made the top 5 list on my list. You know what I mean?
The top 5.
Those are my top 5. I just had to throw it out there, dog, just because, you know, we already mentioned Big Pun and Ice Cube. I couldn't live out the boy Biggie, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what we do.
Top 5.
Top 5.
Hey, man, I got the last question before we wrap this shit up, man.
For sure.
This is the last question. So where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Man,
I was going to say 10 years, but I just wanted to ask in the next 5 years.
Yeah. Well, first, I want to be alive, so That would be the first thing. But shit, dog, just I want to be in the music something. I don't know what exactly, but I mean, obviously, I would love to like go as far as I can with the music. You know what I mean? But I want to be involved with music somehow. So whether that's mixing, mastering, I want to learn how to do that and perfect it. Pretty much whatever I do perfect. So I want to be in some. I could see myself being in the studio recording somebody. I mean, I get in the zone when I do that shit myself here. You know what I mean? So when I start cleaning up my own projects and stuff, most people hate that shit. They don't like doing it. They're like, fuck this. It takes so much time, especially with an artist like me who has like a lot of breathing in this shit. That's a lot of cutting, and then when you got multiple tracks to go through, it can be kind of stressful and annoying. But to me, I love that shit, bro. That's like me getting my favorite dinner meal in front of me. You know what I mean? As soon as I see that, I get ready, again, rub the hands together, and let's go to goes, and I just start cutting everything all up. But yeah, I love that shit. I enjoy it. I know I could probably do producing as well, but to me, I like shit simple. Like that just seems so much crazy stuff to know with producing, but I mean, I know I got the ear for shit. It's pretty much is what I'm trying to say. Like when I hear beats, when I hear other songs, I hear samples all the time. Like, oh, that's a sample from this. Oh, that's from that. Or that's originally this song. Or Dre got it from this. Dre's the biggest motherfucking sampler of all time. You know what I mean? So you hear all of his main hits. There were hits already before. You just got to work at Vaughn's and all these grocery stores and push a cart around. You'll hear those songs, the white version though. You know what I mean? Regulate. You'll hear the Regulate white version. You'll hear the 1, 2, 3. So ain't nothing but a G-Thing white version. There's all those songs are all white versions, bro. But there's white versions still. But anyways, yeah, man, fucking. I just want to be in the music somehow. Whether it's recording, mixing and mastering. I want to be in the studio recording people, you know what I mean? Recording myself and all that shit is cool. Like, I wouldn't mind still be rapping and doing stuff, but at some point, if you're not progressing, you gotta move on. So if I had to move on, I feel like, that's gonna be my route, and I kind of have my foot in that direction, but now that I even got my own shit, I could like learn to do that. But yeah, man, 5 years, I would love to be a lot more known, making money on the music, you know what I mean? Not just doing it like so much for as a hobby, because it's not really, I mean, it is a hobby and I do it, but that's my music, but it's more than that. And some people say that, oh, it's just a hobby, but nah, it's more than that, you know what I mean? It's not just my hobby, this is my life, bro. This shit really fucking puts blood in my veins, you know what I mean? Like, if it wasn't for music, I don't know what the fuck I'd do and get through some of this shit, you know what I mean? When my pops passed, on the way back home, I had went through your beat selection, and I remember I was looking for a beat, and I wanted to get like all the like, you know, the stems and go crazy, but I didn't have that much money at that time. We all had to like gather up our shit and get away to New Mexico to get my dad's shit and bring it all back, rent a car. So I ended up just buying like the MP3 lease, I think, or something off you. And it was one of the beats. And I remember I listened to it and I was just like, damn, bro. And I was like, I need to write to this shit. And I wrote to it all the way, well, not all the way back. And I think I even sent you a message like, hey, Toko, I popped this beat, dog. This is the beat that I'm going to do for my pops. And I wrote to it. Like, I wrote it like 3 different times, you know what I mean? But I wrote on the way back. I didn't end up using those lyrics, but I ended up rewriting it a couple times. And then I remember through that whole phase, I was perfecting the song. Then I got the song ready. Then I recorded it. And then after I recorded it, I got the video, and then we had to go 3 different days to get this video. And where I'm getting at is, if it wasn't for music, bro, And that's what I mean music wise. Like, that's what I was doing. I was being so busy getting the beat, writing to it, perfecting it, getting to a studio. You know, that was all in times of a weeks, you know, as weeks were going by. And then finally it was like the last 2 weeks, and I finally got a video guy. Then the last week, heading like literally days before his funeral, shout out to the homie Bezmo, dog. That fool, man, I still owe him for that video too. So shout out my dog, my bad G. I know I owe you, dog, but I'm giving you a shout out, my boy. The homie showed me love and worked till freaking 1, 2, 3 in the morning, bro, to get that video done. We literally finished shooting the last day of it, like 2 days before my dad's funeral thing. And yeah, we got it done and did the whole video and presented it there at my dad's thing. And, you know, that was cool to do, man. I never thought I would be able to do something like that, you know, but to be able to do a music video for my pops and do it on his funeral and have my whole family know that I do music, and I know it wasn't a whack song, and everybody was crying in that motherfucker. You know what I mean? When that song went, and especially how you touched it off at the end with my dad's voicemail, you know, that was touching. So, like I said, man, without music, bro, I don't know where the fuck I'd be, bro. And that's one time I could look back and think about and be like, damn, man, that song and all had to do with music kept me busy, you know, during those hard times. And that's what music's there for. You know, it's for those bad times. It's for those times when you can't get through shit and when you're stressed the fuck out, you know, or when you're feeling happy, whatever, you know what I mean? Music's for those moments, you know what I mean? And people don't realize it, but man, that shit does help. And the other day I was thinking about it and I was just like, man, you know, that's crazy to think about, because I was stressed, I was feeling pain and I was hurt, but when I thought about it, I was like, man, I remember I was being busy though, you know, and a lot had to do with the music and working on that song through that process, you know, so it kind of kept my mind off shit. I was just trying to remember the good shit, jot it down, and then perfect it, rap it, you know. So yeah, man, music's dope, and it does help, you know what I mean? So my G, that's what it is, you know.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing those little stories with us, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for giving us a bit of insight about who you are and as an artist as well. Because, you know,
hell yeah,
a lot to your music, but we don't know this side of you. You know, so
yeah.
We appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, hell yeah.
No doubt.
Well, thank you for tonight, man. What are you gonna get up to now?
Yeah, man, I don't know, bro. Just chill out. You guys got Monday tomorrow, and we got Sunday, so
yeah,
we still got one more day. You gotta go to work.
Yeah, man.
And yeah, I'm just gonna be chilling, bro. Just kicking it the day before Sunday, you know. So just chill out, vibe it, Beautiful. Do a little smoke.
Yeah, that's what's up, West. Thank you for
tonight. Hell yeah, Lowkey. Hey, thank you, bro. I appreciate it. The EP, dog. Everybody out there, make sure you go out there on all platforms. LOS 3 by your boy The West, presents by your boy motherfucking Lowkey, behind everything, the beats, the mastering, all that. So check that shit out if you haven't yet. LOS 3, we out in this motherfucker.
Yeah. Shout out to you, West. Thank you for this.
We're gonna have a podcast soon. It's gonna be called Chilling with Lowkey. Chilling with West Lowkey. Yeah. I know it's gonna be we're gonna have a podcast soon though, dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're gonna be topping from all over the world, you know? So
hell yeah. Alright, Doggo. Take care, man, and keep in touch. Have a good Saturday night, man. Shit.
Hell yeah, you too, my G.
Gonna have something to eat and yeah, get ready for Monday, bro.
Yeah, you were gonna bust a freestyle, right? Let's get it. He said, all right, my G, for sure.
All right. Aflahiato.
Ojalá ya, dude. Peace.